Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Short Game Long Talk. My name is Eric.
I'm Jess.
And today we have a banger of a video game. Like, we accidentally beat it twice. That's how good of a game it is. Today we played Journey. I would say probably about 2.5 hours is the length from beginning to start at max.
Beginning to start?
Beginning to end, sorry. It at max would probably be 2.5 hours, but probably like an hour and a half to 2 hours, I would say.
Yeah.
This is a game by that one video game company and or that video game company.
I think it's that.
That video game company and Santa Monica Studios, which I think went on to become Sony Santa Monica, which is best known for making the God of War 2018 game. This game came out in 2015, I want to say, and maybe even longer ago, honestly. It might have come out on the PS3 originally, which is crazy because I think I got it for free on the PlayStation 4 in 2015. Are you confirming the date?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm very curious when it came out, honestly.
Yeah, that game company. Let's see. Doesn't say it on the...
I know. This is the second game we've played where it's like real hard to Google it because it's Journey, that's just a word, or Inside.
2012.
2012.
Came out on PlayStation 3, yeah.
Oh my God. March 13th. Wow. We're about to... So we just crossed over its 11th year anniversary. That is absurd. I can't imagine playing this game 11 years ago. Like,
dude, no, with how it looks.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it holds up really well. This is going to be another one of those very similar to Inside, where we're not going to be able to talk about the game too much because, one, there's no dialogue. Two, it's an experience game mostly. And three, it is very simple. Like, the hardest part of the game is still really easy. So, like, straight off the bat, blanket statement, everyone should play this game.
Yes.
Like, literally everyone. Even if you're like a scaredy cat, like, there's only like one or two parts that are actually scary, and they're not that scary.
Yeah. I was just freaking out because like the room was dark, and like I got immersed, but it's not that it's actually.
I also
not that
turned
scary.
the volume up pretty loud, so
yeah.
The noise was quite loud. But yeah, another thing, the music is incredible, like top tier.
That soundtrack, I would listen to that soundtrack unironically.
I'm pretty sure it's on Spotify, so you can, like, at any time listen to that soundtrack.
Pulling up my Spotify right now.
But real quick, I will describe the style of game. It's a third-person platformer game, but not in the makes of, like, Mario 64 or Mario Odyssey or Banjo-Kazooie or anything like that. You only have 2 buttons, period. The entire game is only 2 buttons. It is X and circle, and you can move with the joystick. Yep, the soundtrack is confirmed on Spotify. And X allows you to jump if you have a charge, basically, is the simplest way of putting it. You have this little cape that gets filled with ribbons, and that allows you to jump and glide and kind of fly temporarily. And you can find upgrades throughout the game that make your cape longer to allow you to glide further. That's basically it. Like, you're just solving some puzzles. And the circle basically sends this little like sound wave out that interacts with like the ribbons, some like creatures made out of ribbons, anything made out of ribbons it interacts with. And that's basically it. Like, and
the pillars.
Yes, the pillars of when you make like a wall, the lore wall basically. But yeah, that's basically it. That's the whole game. You start in the desert. You're really far away as a mountain with a light, and the game's just like, go. And you're like, all right. And then you do it. Like, that's literally it. Like, that's the whole game.
And it's very open world. Like, you can explore anywhere you want.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
It's not like that. Basically, if you go to a spot that you're not supposed to go, wind will just kick you back, and that's it. But yeah, you're able to just kind of go wherever. There's not any direction. Every once in a while, if you mess up, the game will tell you, like, oh, try this. Like, press circle here, and then like that's basically it.
Yeah.
There's no, besides the controller prompts, there's no dialogue, there's no subtitles, there's no descriptions of anything, just it's literally like old school hieroglyphic like storytelling. It's super, super cool. What was your first impression of the game?
So I'm gonna be honest, at first when it was like nothing, like no dialogue, I was like, fuck, it's Inside all over again. I'm gonna have to figure this all out. It's gonna be so hard for me.
Oh, you thought it was gonna be puzzles?
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought, because like with Inside there was two things. Yeah. Run, jump.
And grab. So 3 things.
3 things. Oh, sorry. And this one there's 4.
Yeah.
Run.
True.
Or walk.
No, it's 3.
Pan the camera.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is 3D. Yeah, it is 3D.
And then circle and jump.
Yeah.
But
jump. I know. That's the worst is like when you try to jump and you don't have a charge and it's just like your cape just lights up and you're like, dang it, I got nothing.
Fuck.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I'm just preparing for puzzles. You know, like I'm going to have to think so logically throughout all of this. And then I get yeah. I don't know what I was going to say with that. And then
you get, I mean, probably to the first like area.
Oh yeah.
You start in the desert.
Yeah.
And then it walks you, it kind of guides you to like a pillar or platform kind of thing. And then that's when the title screen comes up for the first time. And it shows you like, oh, look, there's the mountain in the distance. You're this little dude, which you're a little guy in a red cape. With like a kind of like a bird's mask on. And that's it.
And you got like twigs for legs.
Yeah. Well, what's funny is you have twigs for like calves, but like you were saying, he's got some thick thighs.
He's got a badonkadonk, dude.
It's really funny.
Like there's a part where he's laying down and it's just like ass.
Yeah, it's pretty bodacious. But yeah, the first area is just like desert, and we will. The reason we beat this game twice is because I've beaten this game before. My wife actually beat this game the first time, and she's actually the one that pointed it out to me because I just downloaded this game because it was free on PlayStation Network. I download every game that's free on PlayStation Network, add it to my library because I'm like, I don't know, maybe down the road I'm going to play it. And it was during quarantine, I think, or maybe she was just staying over for a weekend, and she just downloads it, plays it in 2 hours, and she's like, I beat it. And I was like, really? Huh. I was like, okay. And then like a couple months go by, she's like, I want you to play it. I was like, all right. And I played it and I was like, wow, that was really good. So we've beaten it a couple times. And what I didn't realize was at the beginning of the game, the first quote unquote area, there's like 5 options and it allows you to go into any of the chapters of the game that you want right at the start instead of going forward, which would start you from chapter 1. And
I accidentally went to the second to last chapter.
Yeah, you went to chapter 4 out of 5 or out of 6 or something like that. It was, yeah. And so I was like, huh, I didn't realize that she was doing things. I was like, yeah, I remember this. But I'm like, this, like A, B, and C are missing. Like, why did we not do this? Did we just skip it? And Jess is like, oh, I speed ran. I was like, yeah, I guess you did. I didn't know there was that much of an option. And then I was like, hold on. Because then I was like, we have to play it like again because I want to see like what the difference is. And then I was like looking, and if you pay attention when you walk up to the door that we walked through, it shows you where you're about to go.
Yeah.
And so I didn't catch that.
It's like the pictures in
Mario.
Where like you're about to jump through them and you can see it.
Yeah, exactly. That's a perfect example. And so yeah, I was like, oh, okay. Because literally, like my favorite part of the game, we just completely skipped over. I was like, I didn't know that part was optional. It felt like now that you've played through that part feels pretty important. Like it's literally so important to the style of the story, the feeling of the game. So I was like, oh my gosh.
And then when I was like, it was like 30 minutes into me playing, and we got a cutscene where it showed the entire story.
Yeah.
And Eric was like, yeah, that was supposed to happen. That was supposed to happen.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
I was like, yeah.
Why is all of this stuff being told?
Yeah.
But we didn't play through it.
I was like, huh, are we about to do all of this stuff? Because what's funny is we went to the 4th chapter or whatever. Yeah. And it wasn't hard.
No.
It was a little difficult, but I was like, oh, it's all safe. This is a good place to teach you how to glide and everything like that. It was honestly a pretty good start to the game. And so I was like, huh, I don't remember the order of this exactly, but I'm pretty sure this isn't right. And I was like, whatever, I guess we picked a different way. And then, yeah, that was funny. But there isn't too much to say about the game, honestly, other than like everyone should play it. How much was it? Did you see? It's on the Switch. So everyone has a Switch. Go buy it on the Switch.
I think it was like $12.
Exactly. It probably goes on sale a lot. It's a 12-year-old or 11-year-old game. Honestly, this is up there. Like the plan for this show around the end of the year is to do a game of the year of the games we've played for the show, because obviously we're not doing game of the year for the games that came out this year. This is not that kind of podcast.
Yeah.
But this one is like up there with Edith Finch for me, like right away. Like I forgot how good this game is. It just feels so good. It feels so cathartic. There's moments in this game like that just bring you chills. And then it happened again because we played through 1/4 of the game and then the other 3/4 of the game. And when we got back, I was like, well, we should just finish it again. And I got chills in the same exact spot again because I was just like, this is absurd. It's so good. But yeah, this is definitely one of the top games that we've played. Highly recommend it to everybody. It's a really good, especially if you have like a 4K TV or like a big surround sound. Like this would be an awesome game to play
At my house.
Yeah, in your living room would be nuts.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy. If there's ever like a slow weekend, we can just like burn through it and
Yes.
be, like do it again because that'd be crazy.
Also, we lied. It is not on the Switch.
It's not on the Switch?
No,
It
it's
should
not.
be on the Switch.
It definitely should be though.
What else is it on? Is it still only on PlayStation?
I think it's on PC as well.
It's on PC. Okay. So it's
Because it
technically on
said
the
like Steam,
okay.
Epic Games,
Gotcha.
and like one other platform.
It's definitely worthy to play on a Steam
App
Deck.
Store.
App Store?
Like Apple App Store.
Oh, so it's on the iPhone. That'd be interesting. I don't know. Like, I think if you have an iPad, it would be good. Obviously, displays are beautiful nowadays, but like, it feels like it should be on a big screen.
Yeah.
Like, I'm excited to replay this once we get a bigger TV in our living room. Like, there's not much more to say about this game than it's just like an incredible game that everyone should play. Do you have any closing thoughts on this before we kind of talk about like we're going to go into our intermission, which is going to be kind of long? I'm going to forewarn you guys because we haven't done an intermission in 2 months. We haven't recorded a short game long talk full episode since like February 4th or something like that.
Something like that.
So it's going to be a minute. Lots to catch up on. And then again, this game, there's not going to be a lot to spoil. So if you want to sit through and get through the spoiler section, that's fine too. But there are moments we're going to talk about that are going to be kind of important that you might want to not know about. So
yeah.
Do you have any closing thoughts?
If you're like a fan of like cinematography and stuff, like you could just sit and watch someone play this. Like since I had already completed like the end of it on an accident, I gave Eric the controller and I was like, hey, I've already done this. You play.
It's because you wanted to lay down with my dog who was in the room.
Shut up. And then like just sitting down and like watching everything, I was like, oh, this is so relaxing. Like it felt like watching an animated movie.
Yeah. It feels very Studio Ghibli. Like
Yes.
very, very Studio
It was
Ghibli.
very good.
Oh, it was
And
awesome.
it calmed down his 1-year-old dog.
Yeah, my puppy. He likes chill vibes for sure.
He is lo-fi girl.
He's a lo-fi boy.
That's synthwave
Yeah.
boy, actually.
He'd probably like that. Yeah, the lo-fi girl lore. Okay, cool. So we'll go into the intermission. This is a kind of a short one, but highly recommend this game. It's like an incredible experience. It's not going to take too long for anybody, and like anybody can play it. Like it's, unless you really can't control a second joystick or thumbstick, I think anybody can play this game. And
It's
like
also got motion controls.
it does have motion controls. If you want to use the controller, the PlayStation controller has motion controls in it. It's not great, but yeah. So we'll meet you guys in the intermission. All right, so welcome to the intermission. We haven't had one of these in a minute. Lots to update. I'm going to let Jess go first, though, because she actually has something prepared.
Okay, so in the last intermission, I had trouble remembering all of my Pokemon team.
Mm-hmm.
So now while Eric was playing the part that I had already played in Journey, I sat down and I looked up the descriptions of my team, and I put their nickname and then their real name.
All right.
So that I could explain who I have.
We know everyone now.
So this is in order. I know who I start with.
Okay. Still have your starter.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, nice.
So my first Pokemon in my lineup is Cup, and that's Phantom.
Okay. This is the one I told you not to look up the Pokedex description for.
Yes.
But holy shit.
Hold on.
It is incredible. Because there's multiple.
Oh, that's sad. Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
For those of you who don't know, this is what the Pokedex on Pokemon.com says. After a lost child perished in the forest, their spirit possesses a tree stump, causing the spirit's rebirth as this Pokemon.
Yep.
And it's a tiny little... So the reason why I named it Cup is because the tree stump looks like a little cup.
Mm-hmm.
But if you look at its evolution, it's terrifying.
You know what's really funny is you're playing Sword and Shield, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you named this thing Cup. There's literally a Pokemon called Sinistea, which is a cup Pokemon. It's a ghost, another ghost that takes up it occupies in a teacup because we're in Britain in that game.
Oh, right.
And then it evolves into a teapot. So, yeah.
If I ever encounter that one, I'm just naming it T.
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 What's the T? Yeah. Okay, go on. But I wanted you to know that you're carrying around the soul of a dead child who got lost in the forest on your team, and you named him Cup. You're like, that used to be a human. Cup. That's your name.
So then next I have Bob.
Mm-hmm.
That's Araquanid.
Yeah. Arachnid?
Yeah.
Wait, that's the bubble one, right?
Yeah. It's a big spider with a bubble over its head.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to look up this. You keep going.
And then news, Kenneth evolved.
Yeah.
He's now Cinderace.
Nice. Good Pokemon.
And then I've got Honey, who's a Boltund.
Mm-hmm.
Drake is a Noibat. And then I got rid of Claritin, which I forgot its name.
Yeah, I don't know its name.
It's
either.
the one with cotton on it.
It looks like a cotton ball. Yeah.
If you're that interested, go look up Pokemon that looks like cotton ball, fairy grass type. But then when I got to this next...
Yeah, it's Araquanid.
Araquanid?
Yeah.
That makes more sense phonetically.
It's a water bug.
Yeah.
But its original form has the best name, which is Dewpider.
Dewpider
which I love.
And I named it Bob because the bubble on its head, I went Bob.
Yeah.
I was like Bubble, Bob. Bubble.
Bubble. Yeah.
So when I got past Route 6, I encountered this person who was like, oh, hey, did you know that you can make Pokemon out of fossils?
Yeah.
And I was like, what the fuck? Sure, let me try it out. And I had 2 fossils that worked.
Yeah.
And they're like, yeah, let me just put this together. Here's your new Pokemon.
Yeah.
And it's Dracovic.
Yes, which if you are a fan of Pokemon competitive, it is a very competitively strong Pokemon.
I've had it for like a day and a half, and it went from level 10 to like level 32. Yeah. And I haven't been using it. It's just been sitting at the bottom of my team because
it's a good Pokemon. For those who don't know, the weird thing about Sword and Shield's fossils is the lady that is the professor or the archaeologist in that game is crazy. And she's based off of how early on people who are like archaeologists would put the wrong fossils together and say like, oh, it's this is how this dinosaur is made.
And it's not.
Because if you look at Dracovic, it's a tail with a head slapped on the end of the tail, not the bottom of the tail, the end of the tail. So it's a real messed up looking Pokemon.
It looks like if you took a dinosaur, took out the middle part, and just stuck it together. It has no arms either. It's just a head, legs, and tail. It's not even a body.
Yeah, and it has a huge head too. Yeah, and the body is like green and red,
Yeah.
right? And then the head is white. Like
It's not
it's
the same.
messed up. It's very funny though. It's a good Pokemon. It's
Yeah.
very weird though. There's a lot of there's another one that's like a raptor's head with little arms slapped onto like this huge body. It's terrible. Like it's so funny, but that's one of the more controversial things about besides the fact that there was what was called Dexit, because there was a bunch of Pokemon that were left out of Sword and Shield because they cut the Pokedex down.
Yeah.
And they called it Dexit because it's Britain.
Yeah.
So Brexit. And that was probably the most controversial thing. But the other thing was like, what are these fossil Pokemon? And then once you think about it as like they were just riffing off the fact that people used to just put bones together and be like, this is how it looked. And it was not how it looked at all.
Yeah.
It's pretty good. So that's your whole team?
Yeah, that's my whole team right
It's
now.
a solid team.
And the reason why it's stacked the way it is because I did research upon like the ones that, like the gyms I was coming across. Yeah. And in that order was how I could best defeat the gyms. Ending with Honey, because Honey has this overpowered fairy move.
Oh, nice.
I think it's not
Play Rough.
It is Play Rough.
Play Rough
okay.
is a really good fairy move.
And so I just got to Alistair, and the gym, the last Pokemon, which was the Dynamax, was Gengar.
Yeah.
And so
Gengar's Dynamax is so sick.
Yeah.
It's so cool.
It's
huge thing. Huge.
And it's like just on the floor.
It's like the entrance to like a terrifying carnival ride.
Yeah,
because
it has like its tongue out and it's just like on the floor.
It has like a vortex in the mouth.
Yeah.
So cool. Love it.
But so, I got through that, and I honestly, none of my Pokemon like fainted. I just, as soon as they got low, I either threw them a potion or I switched them out.
Yeah.
Because like when they got low, Alistair was already trading Pokemon, like sending out a new Pokemon. So I was like, oh, I'll just switch Pokemon real quick.
Smart.
So yeah, Alistair Dynamaxed, I Dynamaxed, Play Rough.
You had Big Honey?
Yeah, I had Big Honey. Play Rough, got Gengar down to like freaking 2 HP. And I used Bite in the next one, and it was gone.
Bite. Love
And
it.
that's where I'm now in the Mushroom Woods.
Nice.
So that's cool. I also
The Mushroom Woods are one of my favorite parts. That part is beautiful.
I didn't know about it.
Really?
Yeah,
Incredible.
at all, because last time I played it, I stopped like at the fire gym.
Oh, okay.
So
you literally stopped where the quote unquote wall is.
Yeah.
Like that's what they say the wall is in the game, but he's a joke. Like that's so funny that you like actually you're like, oh, he's the wall. I gotta stop.
I just couldn't go on. It was like my junior year.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's
It was like going into junior year.
Yeah.
I had so much shit to do.
yeah.
But anyway, so I was walking around those woods, and I walked up to just a random mushroom, and I touched it, and it lit up like the whole area, and I was like, oh my god! And I had my boyfriend on call, and he's playing his game because we just like do that. Like we'll be on a FaceTime while he plays his video game, I'll play my video game, or like I'll be watching a show or something, just in each other's company. And I touched the mushroom. And I went, oh my god! And he's like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, the mushroom lights up.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay.
It's one of the coolest areas because like that's where, because it's based in Britain and like there's some pretty like the center town with all the industrial stuff is super cool, but then like the routes and stuff are like pretty fine. The part with the archaeologist is cool. You're like on the cliffs and everything like that.
Yeah.
But like the water gym, the grass gym, they're like the fire gym. It's whatever. But like, yeah, you get to that part, you're like, whoa, this is crazy.
And then I got into the little town that has like all the fairy things.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Did you meet the gym leader?
not yet.
Oh, Opal is incredible. She's awesome. Love Opal.
But yeah, that's where I am in Pokemon right now.
That's awesome.
We were supposed to play together.
Well, we were also supposed to play, what's it called? Scarlet and Violet together. So I focused on that.
Because I don't have money.
Yeah. She got parents. But yeah, I mean, hey, if you want, I could catch up to you in like a couple days.
Yeah.
So in reality, I can catch up. Especially because I have like some perfect IV trained Pokemon on my team that I can just like rock all the gym leaders. Are you playing anything else? Any mobile games? Any games you're just playing with your boyfriend?
I have games that I'm playing with my friends.
Nice.
Because my friend Alyssa
Mm-hmm.
has a Switch,
Mm-hmm.
and my friend Chance has an Xbox.
Okay.
And Alyssa and Chance were trying to get me on Fortnite.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, maybe.
Honestly, it's not a bad idea because, like, I don't know if you'll like it, but it'll get you more used to playing games with a second stick, you know, in a quick way. So it's not a bad way.
But at first, I was like, I really don't want to play Fortnite just because of mainstream media, like making Fortnite sound so cringe. I was like, it's like, I will hop on the bandwagon with this one. I don't think Fortnite's cool. And then they're like, just let's find a different game to play then. And I was like, you guys have Fall Guys?
Yeah.
So we played Fall Guys for a bit.
Fall Guys is good.
And then we started sucking like horribly. And so Chance, he was like, please, let's just like just download Fortnite. Like,
it's free.
We'll teach you. It's free.
Yeah.
Like whatever. So I was like, okay.
Did you play build mode or no build mode? Were you able to build structures?
Yes.
Okay, so that's build mode. I haven't played in years. I actually played Fortnite before it became a battle royale. That's how long ago I played it. Because when it came out, it was about defending a tower from zombies. Yeah. It was called Fortnite because you needed to survive 2 weeks.
Fortnite.
Yeah. And build a fort.
Yeah.
So I think if I ever go back, it would be in the no build mode because the build mode is absurd.
Yeah.
But
Sweats.
Yeah, exactly. How was your experience though?
I had 26 assists in 1 kill.
Nice. Okay.
And we ended in 3rd.
Hey, not bad. That's pretty good. So you guys did like trios?
Yeah.
Nice. That's fun.
Chance has spent over $1,000 on Fortnite.
Yeah, that'll happen.
He didn't even mean to. He had his parents' card, and he was in like 8th grade apparently.
Yeah.
He just kept buying skins because it was linked.
Yeah. I did that. I spent $500 in a month on iTunes one time. That was in 6th grade. That was before like anything was really like super like I was knowledgeable on how things worked, and my dad had his credit card linked to my iTunes, and I bought $500 worth of songs. That was bad. That was really bad.
His parents don't know yet.
I hope they don't listen to the podcast.
He's about to be a senior in high school. I don't think it's.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. But
wait, they have to know. Do they not monitor their credit cards? They're not like, what is this Epic Games like charge for $1,500? Like how?
Well, he's never been disciplined about it,
Okay.
so
That's crazy.
either they do know and they don't care, or they're just that oblivious.
Monitor.
Sorry,
One. Life
sorry,
lesson.
Neen, if you're listening to this.
Monitor your cards. That's a life lesson. 2, set some child locks. Or don't put your credit card, because guess what? Fortnite, you don't need to buy anything. It's actually one of the best games on when it comes to like microtransactions and stuff. Everything is funded through other people buying like skins and things like that. So it's not, you don't actually need to, you can just play as the ugly base guy.
Yeah,
and it's fine.
That's what I'm doing.
Yeah. He sucks. He looks terrible, but like, I think he's like the most basic character of all time. But, yeah, it's a pretty good game. I think it'd be cool for you to keep playing. Maybe I'll join you.
Yeah, we haven't played since we started playing a week before opening night, and then opening night happened, and then there's just been so much happening since then.
Well, hey, you're a month away from graduation.
So. Don't tell me that.
And then we can bust out like we're gonna do like a crazy recording weekend or something like that. We'll just like do like 4 games and just like have them in the backlog just ready to go.
Dude, we can do so much now that I'm going to be in like summer vacation.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't really have too much planned. I'm going out of town like maybe once a month over the summer. But besides
Well,
that,
I'm going to Mexico in June. So
okay. Now that's where I'm leaving in June too. So that works out. And yeah, we're going to start. I'm not going to announce it yet. You have to get to the end of the episode to announce what. It's not our next game because it's going to be a little longer.
it's a building up game.
But it's a game we're going to start playing together apart. If that
makes any sense.
Yeah. But it's going to be something that we start playing on our own, and then we'll meet up when we both finish it, which I think could be done reasonably well.
Yeah.
But
I could get that game done in like a weekend.
yeah, me too.
I'm obsessed with that game.
Yeah, but you have to wait till the end of the episode to find out what it is. I don't know what the next game is exactly, but
we can look at the list.
we can look at the list. You got anything else going on with your gaming world?
Only real life gaming stuff.
Oh yeah, D&D.
Yeah.
That's nice. That's always good.
I'm assisting a DM, and then whenever my friends have time, because I'm friends with college kids, we're gonna be running.
Hey, you're almost a college kid.
I have 2 friends that want to DM, and so it's those 2 friends, my boyfriend, and me. So 1 DM, 3 players.
So obviously with the one with your boyfriend, that one's over Discord.
Yeah.
But what about the one in do you try to do that one in person, or?
We're going to try to do it all in Discord so that it's easier for everyone to hear everyone else.
It's honestly like the second you have more than like 4 people, including the DM, it's just better to do it online.
Yeah.
Because there's so much more, like you can kind of mute yourself. There's no there's less like stumbling over each other. Weirdly, like normally if you're in a meeting, like you stumble over talking to each other all the time because you're like, oh, I want to. Sorry, but like weirdly in D&D it works so much better.
In Discord, D&D works so much better.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you. But that's cool.
What do you got going on? Because I know you've got.
So we haven't recorded since February 4th. Since then, I beat Persona 5 finally. I beat it in February. Like I think like a couple days after we recorded that episode, I finally beat it. I spent 145 hours in that game to beat it. It was one of the greatest experiences of my life. I still think about it daily. Anybody should play it. Even like if you're not a big fan of JRPGs, it's on the Switch. It's incredible. Go play it. Jess, if you ever play that game, we will do a complete bonus episode about it. I do not care. We will talk about the entire game from start to finish. I do not care.
Got it.
I know this is short game, long talk. I will make
long game, long talk.
Yeah, I will make it long game, longer talk. Like, I don't care. That game is incredible. And I think it'll be really pertinent to you because it's a bunch of high school kids literally like going through their, like a couple of people are going through their senior year. Some kids are transfers. Like it's incredible. It's so good. But since then I have beaten 5 other games. So I was working on Persona 5 from December, early December to mid-February. So I took like 3 months to beat it. Since then, I've beaten Lifeline, which is an incredible game that you play on your phone, and it's about communicating with an astronaut in space, giving him instructions on how to survive.
Huh.
And it's based on real time. So I will send him a thing to do, and if he says it's going to take me 15 minutes, he'll respond to me in 15 minutes, and then I have to respond back to him. Or like he's like, hey, where do you think I should sleep tonight? And I'm like, okay, you should sleep here. And he's like, okay, I'm going to do that. And then he's like, I'll see you in a couple hours. And he will not respond for 8 hours.
Oh my God.
So I will not be able to play the game for 8 hours. And then sometimes I'll just get like communication lost. Taylor has died. And I'm like, and then it tells you can go back. But I got Taylor off. There is I got him off of the crazy planet. In my head, he's a guy. He can be a girl. Be whatever you want. But there is a sequel, and there's also a continuation that I haven't played yet because I was like, I'm just going to stop at the base game. This game came out a long time ago. It was really, really good. It's on Apple Arcade, so if you have Apple Arcade, which is like Game Pass for Apple, it's free. You got it. Go do it. It's really fun. Then I played one of the best games that came out in 2022 that I didn't get around to playing because I was playing Persona, because that took up the last like month of 2022 for me, is Citizen Sleeper. An incredible game. Really, really fun game that I think you would like because it involves dice rolling.
Dice!
So every single day you wake up, depending on you're called a Citizen Sleeper because basically in this cyberpunk future, you're in space, you have sold your body or you've sold your consciousness to a corporation, and you basically like you as a person put your consciousness or a duplicate. I don't really fully understand it. If your body, like myself, Eric, still lives, but I sell my consciousness to put inside of a robot that then can work forever for a corporation. Mm-hmm. I don't know if that means like I think you still keep your body, but then you separate yourself, and you basically signed off your quote unquote soul to them because they can use your robot body to go. You play as a Citizen Sleeper that has escaped, and basically what that means is you are ticking time bomb to die yourself because the corporation has what keeps the Citizen Sleepers alive, and they're the only ones that have it. Mm-hmm. So once you've left there, you're ticking down. So based on your condition, you get up to 6 dice per day, and they roll at the start of each of your days. And all you do is it's just basically menus and dialogue that you're doing. So you go to, let's say, the really basic situation is like you go to a dock in space to unload cargo. And you have 5 stats, like it's like endure, active, intelligence, intellect, like kind of very similar to D&D. And you can have plus and minuses in those based off of your character. And say, I think like endure is for like physical stuff. So like, let's say I have a +1 in that. And it's like, well, you rolled 6 dice at the start of your day. You can use whatever dice you want to do whatever activity. So like, let's say I rolled a 6. That's an automatic success no matter what I do. So if I have a really difficult task I need to do, I'm like, sick, I have a 6. Yeah. I can put it in there. But like some days you just wake up and you rolled like 2 1s, a couple 2s, and a 3. And you're like, I'm going to get nothing done today. And basically you're just trying to like survive, day to day. You're meeting people, you're doing quests, you're building relationships. And like for my first ending, I like met this guy and his little daughter, and we like really hit it off. And we did everything we could to get that little girl off of the ship not the ship, but the like crumbling station that everyone was living on called the Eye, which is basically like just one big ghetto. Like it's a terrible, terrible place. That's completely run down and abandoned by the people that originally made it. So it's like really bad.
Yeah.
And so that ending like literally made me cry. Like they talk about like you're stepping onto a spaceship, and he like you as a Citizen Sleeper who will live on quite a long time if you're like plugged in and stuff. He just like talks about like all the things that Mina, or Lena, I think. Is it Lena? Mina. No, it is Mina. Is going to see in her future because they're going to a new planet and all that. And it's like, and then it's just like a beautiful ending. But there's multiple endings, and I'm going to go back and play it. But that was my ending that I finished with, and it was incredible. So really good game. Highly recommend. It's on Steam. I think it'd be great on the Switch. It'll probably come to the Switch eventually. And then I rebeat Resident Evil 2, the remake, with my wife. Because Resident Evil 4 was coming out, and I was like, I want to play through that game again to get refreshed on Leon S. Kennedy's story. That was super fun. She enjoyed it quite a bit. Now we're playing through it again on the B side as another character. And then I beat Resident Evil 4, but I'm in the process of beating that again so that I can have like a bunch of overpowered weapons to then play through it with my wife quickly. I'm already on my second playthrough. I'm 25% through the game, and I've played it for an hour. So, and the first time it took me 17 hours to beat it, but I'm at an hour, and I'm almost to like the halfway point.
Yeah.
So doing pretty well. And then the final game I've beaten since then is The Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog. A legit Sega game that was released on April 1st. It is a full hour and a half long game That is hilarious.
I saw posters for that, and I was like, oh, okay, it's just a joke. It's April 1st.
It's a full game with actual gameplay.
I need to show that. Or
It's free.
My friend probably already has that.
It's free on Steam. You can play it. It's a visual novel mystery game. About the murder of Sonic the Hedgehog.
My upcoming roommate for college loves Sonic the Hedgehog and Tails and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe I'm gonna download it.
Yeah, you should. It's really, really good. It honestly does a really good job of like showcasing all the characters, because there's characters from all of Sonic from like the beginning. You got Amy, Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, and then you have slightly, it's not really newer, you know, the character is older than you, both of them, but like much newer compared to Sonic and Knuckles and all them. You have Vector.
OGs.
Yeah, you have Vector the Crocodile, Blaze the Cat, Rouge the Bat. Those all make appearances, and then you play as like basically a Sonic OC that you can just name whatever. But it's really, really funny.
Does it have the babies?
The Chows?
Yeah.
There's one in there.
I remember the Chows from, I used to play it whenever I would be in Mexico.
Sonic Adventure?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would just always try to find all the Chows and adopt them.
Yeah, the Chow Gardens. Yeah, people want a standalone Chow Garden game.
I would love that.
Yeah, it would be great. It would be a really good game. I don't know why they haven't done it. It's like it's free real estate, as that ancient meme. But it's literally like...
Made me cringe.
Yeah, a little bit. But like, yeah, that would be great.
Amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, that game's really funny. I played it on a weekend. I beat Resident Evil 4, I think. Yeah, I beat Resident Evil 4, and I was like, well, I beat it like Sunday morning, and I was like, well, I still have stuff to do. Like, I still want to play like a game today. So I just downloaded it on April 2nd and beat it, and it's really, really funny. So it's got a lot of references for like OG fans, and it's got plenty for newer fans. And if you know anything about Sonic, it's just a really funny game. Oh, and of course, how did I forget? The edgelord himself, Shadow the Hedgehog, is also in the game.
You said that.
No, I didn't say Shadow.
Oh, you said Knuckles. My bad.
I said Knuckles. Shadow is in it. I don't know how. They dressed him up like a fucking Starbucks barista, and it's incredible. Because everyone is dressed up for a murder mystery party, and then Sonic actually gets killed. It's really, really funny. But yeah, that's right now I'm playing through Resident Evil 4 again. I pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom. I am so excited for that. I'm very worried that game is not going to be able to run on my day one Switch, but we're going to cross that bridge when we get to it. I'm very excited for that game. Resident Evil 4 was incredible. It's currently my game of the year. Sonic, honestly, Murder of Sonic the Hedgehog was a pretty good game. It's pretty funny.
Now you're just selling it to me.
Dude, honestly, you're going to like it. It's really funny. Because it's just reading and choices. Like,
yes.
Yeah, that's all it is.
Oh, I thought of another game I just played.
Okay.
I've been playing. It's been a constant game for me. It's just something to do like when I'm bored or like when I have nothing to do, and like social media, because social media doesn't give like the spark for me to like constantly be on it anymore.
Yeah, it's good. It's healthy.
Yeah.
I'm getting there too.
Like I'll open up Instagram, scroll like to see what my friends have been up to. I'll go look at the explore page, scroll through like a comic, and then be like, okay, I'm done.
I have never used the explore page in my life.
Really?
On Instagram, yeah.
It's where I find really funny comics.
Yeah.
That's really it. And I support small artists, so I'll like give it a like and a follow.
Yeah, that's my whole Twitter is just artists. That's the like only reason I'm still on Twitter is just to follow like cool artists and drawings.
Yeah. But so since I've been like bored, or like if I'm at school and my teachers are like, okay, you can grab your phones, and I just like don't want to be scrolling through something while I wait for the bell, this little game has saved me. And I've had it, actually, let me check my day counter, because I think I'm hitting like the year mark.
Wow.
I might have missed my year to date. Oh, that just reminded me of my econ class, because we're doing the stock game.
Yeah.
And it's year to date to like see how the stocks have been doing. Never mind. I'm not going to talk about that.
Yeah, I was like, that's the antithesis of video games.
Actually, it's a game.
It is a game for sure, but it's like the antithesis of video games.
Yeah,
the only stock market I care about is the stock market in Animal Crossing. The actual stocks. Yeah.
So it's called Animal Restaurant.
Okay.
Yeah, day 368.
Wow. So you just crossed over a year.
Yeah.
All right.
But you just there's a bunch of animals that come into your restaurant, and you have to like clean up after like everything.
So it's a tap type game.
It's just a tapping game, and I have 2 million COD right now, but I've
COD
is
that's the currency.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Because our chef.
Are you a bear?
No.
Oh.
You as a player are just you as a player.
You're God.
Yeah. But like, what's it called? The chef before you, his name's Chef Gumi.
Mm-hmm.
And you can see him walking right there. He's just an angry cat that I put a bowl on his head.
That's really funny.
Because your customers can give you like mementos,
mm-hmm.
and some of those mementos you can put on your workers.
Oh, okay.
So I've got the kitchen, a takeout place, the seating area, a garden, and a pond. And then I've upgraded.
That's a nice restaurant.
I've upgraded to a terrace as well. Oh, and I have conveyor belt sushi.
Nice.
And I have a front yard once it loads.
Oh.
I have a front yard, and it has singers, and it has a little game machine where you can play mini games.
Cute.
And so it's just an idle, like...
Yeah.
They're like...
It's a tapper.
Yeah. There's a white... What's it called? A white owl named Hedwig.
Oh, cute.
And if... Like, I have a garden here, and I can send out flowers, and then I get stars, which helps me upgrade my restaurant.
Nice.
Or I can get mementos, or I can get, like, my whole mailbox has a bunch of letters that I've gotten so far.
Nice. And so you play this every day, just, like, check in every once in a while?
Yeah.
Nice.
And Hedwig will go for 8 hours and then come back. And like,
is that like straight up a Harry Potter thing?
I
like
think
tie-in,
so.
or is it just a reference?
I think it's just a reference.
Okay. That's crazy.
But like, there's a bunch of time limits on things, and like, performer will perform for 30 minutes, and then like once it hits 30 minutes, they would just walk out.
That's so funny.
But they give you all of the revenue that they made.
Oh, that's nice.
But yeah, I make money on this.
You make money. That's cool. Have you ever heard of Pokemon Cafe Mix? I've
heard of it.
I think you would like it. It's very similar to that, except it's less of a tapper game and more of a like interactive making, and it has some of the cutest Pokemon art like on the planet. It's so good. It's so cute that my wife's contact info is actually the Charmander from that game. It's very cute. But cool. That was a good intermission.
Yeah.
That was a lot to catch up on. I'm trying to think of like the games I want to play, because right now I'm like, I just bought Resident Evil 4. I'm trying to like save a little money, and I just pre-ordered Tears of the Kingdom, which I bought digitally. So
you're saying I can play it? You
can play it, yes. I just have to be off of Wi-Fi, and then you're able to play it. And I just have to log into your account.
Switch.
So that's pretty cool. But the other game I'm looking to play is called Dredge, and it's a Lovecraftian horror fishing game.
Huh. Yeah,
I'm very excited to play it. It sounds extremely good. There's so many good games, man. Like that's what we were talking about on the way here. Like this is not the goal at all. Like we're not trying to make this a money thing. It's something we enjoy doing. It's something that like will be nice, especially once you move away, that we can like continue to interact. But like if we got to a point that we were just getting enough money to buy games for the show, that would be peak. Like that would be great.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah, it'd be so cool. But we're not like, give us your money. it's more of like, that'd be great. That'd be nice. But we just enjoy doing this. And I have plenty of games already that fit into this category. So it's totally fine. But yeah, I think that's it. Do you have anything else before we
chilling.
go to the spoiler section of Journey, where we're going to talk beat by beat, all 5 chapters? That's going to take about 15 minutes, and then it's going to be done. So, but yeah, that's it. We'll see you guys in the spoiler section. It's your last warning. Not really. I'm going to warn you one more time in like 5 seconds. All right. We are back. This is your final warning for spoilers, but I say that very lightly because there's not a lot we can spoil, because this is another very visual game. Visual and audio.
Yes.
That's going to like, I mean, that's just video games. But like, there's a story for sure, but it's mostly an experience, which is kind of a theme on this show.
Yeah, we play very experience-based games.
Yeah, experience-heavy games, and I can't wait. We're about to get into a very cool like period. I have a couple games that I've been waiting to play with you that are very like summery. Like I didn't want to play them. I didn't want to play them during the winter. Like, because one takes place literally over the summer, the other one's about a hike. I was like, these are not.
Oh yeah, I remember that
short
one.
hike.
Yeah,
dude, I have it. I found it. Like I bought it in a bundle a long time ago.
Oh, nice.
So I have it, and I can just give it. I can give you my itch login, and then you can probably just download it, or we can play it together. Because I don't know how long it is, exactly, but I know there's a lot of like it's like a lot of side stuff you can do. Well, that's besides the point. That's for a future time.
That's for another intermission.
Exactly. No, that's for a whole other episode.
Well, yeah.
But basically for the spoiler section, I'm going to run through right now exactly what the hieroglyphics tell you is going to happen. And then we can kind of like talk a little bit about what we think was happening. And then we'll just get into our favorite parts, and that'll be a wrap.
I want to talk about the ancient ones.
Huh?
I want to talk about the ancient ones.
The ancient ones. Yeah, exactly. We'll definitely get to that. But basically, the game starts, you're in a desert. There's these ribbons that give you power to kind of like glide and whatnot. We talked about that. And then there's these, it's very aquatic. The whole game is very aquatic,
Yes.
even though you're in a desert.
And you'll, like, your mask is shaped like a bird.
Mm-hmm. It's very strange. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, go ahead.
If I can just.
Yeah, absolutely.
If anyone has seen the Owl House,
Yes.
it's like Hunter's mask.
Yes.
Or the Golden Guard's mask.
Yes, very similar.
My bad for a spoiler. It's been out for like a while.
Yeah.
It literally just,
And
the
what
finale
you just,
just finished.
What you just said to me means nothing. Like, I haven't seen it, and I'm not going to remember that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so yeah, like I said, it points you in the direction of the mountain, and then you go, you'll run into like quote unquote creatures made out of these little ribbons. Like the first ones you run into are like little stingrays that fly through the air and they help you fly and things like that. Then you also have like jellyfish, which are really, really cool. And then there's the big one, which is like a hammerhead shark that you can fully just ride the back of it.
And then the tiny like singular ribbons are just like schools of fish.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Somewhere between like 4 to like 20.
Yeah.
Like they can get pretty big. But basically, from what I can tell from the story, is that there was a war between these people that are from the same faction, basically.
Like hooded people. They all wear the same robes.
Yeah, and it seemed like these were the white robed people, because it made it seem like us as red robes was like special.
Yeah.
Because there's only one of us in the entire thing that has red robes, and it shows us singularly. Everybody else is like gray or brown robes.
Yeah.
And basically they use these ribbons, these creatures, these things as a resource to like power a civilization. And they made this incredible civilization, but we just see the ruins of that. And then eventually one side split and factioned off and made these things that destroyed or captured captures the ribbons from the other ones, and then some kind of war happened and a lot of people died,
and they like ripped ribbons and things died. And
yeah, because it showed like the ribbons helped at first turn the desert into actual like crops and things like that, and then they harness them into being power sources, and then they use that to like advance their species, and then the war happened.
Yeah. And then the war happened.
The war, typical. And then basically it seems like we're some kind of savior, prophet, messenger that is just going to the peak of this mountain, releasing the ribbons back into the world and bringing kind of peace to the land. And that's basically it.
And there's a bunch of these like little pillars that we believe are headstones.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of them too. And there's a point where you're climbing up the mountain at the end and they stop. They're no longer appearing, to kind of show that like no one else has gotten this far but you. And that was a pretty cool thing. But yeah, that seemed like to me like the basis of that story.
Yeah.
It's a very cut and dry, very simple story, just told through hieroglyphics and pictures. No words, no nothing.
And whenever you get a glimpse into this story, there's a gigantic one of you in all white that all like just looks gold. Down at you, looks up at the pictures, and is like, "You seeing this, right? Like, this is the history. This is what happened, and you need to fix it." Until the
like second to last chapter.
Yeah.
Where you get to the top of the tower, and it's one of those, and it shows you all you've done and then what you're about to do.
Yeah.
Which it shows you with this crazy long tail of ribbon climbing up the mountain. And it's just like, I just got chills thinking about it. It's so cool. Like, this game is so freaking cool.
I played through it and I skipped through everything.
Yeah.
He got chills at the ending.
Yeah.
And then he played through it, got to the ending, got chills again.
Yeah. I was like screaming. Like, it's so good.
Thinking about it, he got chills again.
Yeah, dude, it's so good. I don't know how this isn't going to be the like game of the year, unless I have like some crazy emotional tie to some of the other games we're going to play. But man, it is so good. It just feels good. Like, that's the other thing that we didn't really talk about.
It's a very feel good game.
Yeah, and like pressing up, just the glide feels nice. The movement, the sliding, the like anytime it's
snowboarding.
Anytime it's downhill a little bit in the sand or the snow, you straight up like carve it up. It's incredible. And then before we go into our favorite parts, there was one thing that I definitely wanted to leave out of the spoiler-free section, and there was something that I did not tell Jess about until we actually beat the game.
Yeah.
So you can talk about it a little bit.
So when I skipped to the second to last chapter, I thought it was like a flashback or something, because there was a vignette. There was one that looked like me, and it had a long ribbon, and I had a short ribbon because I had just started.
Yeah. We also walked, like, when you choose a chapter, you walk into a room. You don't walk into like a hallway that then transports you. You walk into like a circle and it sends you somewhere. So it feels like, if you didn't know, it does feel like a flashback.
Yeah. So I thought, like, Eric was like, "Oh, is this a flashback?"
Yeah.
Because he wasn't fully aware that was a chapter select.
I haven't played this game in a long time.
So he was like, "Oh, is this a flashback?" I was like, "I mean, it looks like it. Like, there's a vignette." And so I saw this other me, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, this got to be a flashback." And it did the little like circle thing, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, it's telling me to follow it."
Yeah.
So I did follow it, and then it disappeared on me.
Yeah.
Like, immediately.
Yeah.
Not immediately. Like, it helped me out with like.
Well, the first one did disappear. He sat down and disappeared.
Yeah.
Remember, it like dissolved. And then another one showed up, and you're like, "Oh, okay, maybe now I'm supposed to follow this one."
Yeah. Oh, yeah, because I thought like I had done something different or like wrong or something, and I was like, "Oh, okay, then it's like just resetting." And then so another one showed up, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, followed that one up, no problem." And then skipped to the end. I didn't run into another one, so I was like, "Okay, maybe it was just to teach me that."
Yeah.
Because I was still
under the assumption
that I just like that's where you started.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, so yeah, those are just like teaching, teach things, and then
tutorials.
Thank you.
I was like, you're missing the word, I can tell, but you got the essence.
And so we continue on, and then after credits roll, it goes companions met, and he's like, "This is what I didn't tell you. Those people that you met in that room." They were real players.
Yeah.
They like the circle things. They were telling you like, "Hey, what's up?"
Hey, hi. Yeah.
Not.
So yeah, this is definitely like it's a lot rarer. Like, so when we played through a second time, it said we met one person, but we never saw him. And so it's a lot rarer to do it now because the game is quite old. But the way the game works is at any point, somebody else can join into your game. There's no notification. There's no there's no gamer tag above their names. There's no nothing. It just says like it just is just another person that looks like you, and they can have any kind of length of cape or anything like that. And you're like, huh, okay, cool. Like this is just another character, and like if you don't know, it's like, yeah, it just seems like another character. And then you're like, huh, they're kind of like this NPC is kind of behaving weird. It's kind of weird. Like,
Yeah, because it went on without me, and I was
Yeah.
like, where the fuck did it go?
yeah. And then it was just gone and we never saw it again. And so it's literally another player from anywhere. And so what it does is it says at the end, it says companions met on journey, and it says like their gamer tags.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God, those were actual people. Because like when I played it, I don't know my wife's experience when she played it through and if she realized that those were people or whatnot, but I met like 2 people and I played through the whole game with them. And like there's a part where you're hiding from basically like a flying snake kind of thing.
From the thing that eats the ribbons.
Yeah, from the thing that eats the ribbons. And like that's where I met one person and they like got killed. Like
They got ripped.
They were like ripped up, and I was like, "Oh my God." Like oh my God.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. And then like it's just like so cool. There's a community of people that are like Sherpas basically for this game that literally just play it every once in a while just to like shepherd people through the game. And it's like that's how cool the community is about this game. But it's such a cool like design choice to be like, yeah, you know, it's a multiplayer game, but it's not. Like they just kind of help you. There's no way they actually help you. They show you and that's it. And you can kind of like give each other boosts
Energy.
and stuff. Yeah, but it's a really, really cool little snippet of that game that like I feel like I think they have another game on mobile called Sky that is very similar, except it's like obviously a multiplayer game. So
I think that's what's on Switch.
probably, yeah, that would make sense.
Sky Children of Light or something.
Something like
Flight.
that, yeah.
I think that's on
I think
Switch.
that's I don't know if that's like a story game or if it's like an MMO kind of thing.
I've looked into it though because like it's cheap on the Switch.
Yeah,
It's
I think
like
it's
99
free.
cents
I think
or
it's free on mobile. So like maybe just buy and get it on your phone. But yeah, that's the story of the game. That's the gist of it, honestly. But we can go into more.
Oh,
of
and a lot of the lore walls, like you don't need them for the story at all. They're just like little Easter eggs. But like a lot of them, you just see like, so there'll be statues at the end of the chapter that like show you like you've completed this chapter. And they're like standing straight up, and they look like the people in the hieroglyphs.
Yeah.
But then you look at the other hieroglyphs, and there are people like on their side,
Yeah, you're
and
like-
that depicts that they're dead. And there's one of them where there's like just 2 rows of completely dead people, and I'm like, oh,
That's the first one.
yeah,
That's before you even get to the chapter select point of the game. It's like that's the first one is just a bunch of dead like travelers. It's crazy. But yeah, they're like little hidden walls that give you like so the 2 collectibles in the game are those and then like little power up extenders that extend your cape. And that's it. I'm very curious what the bonus is for like getting everything in the game.
probably an achievement.
It's probably an achievement, but there's that little like pedestal where it has all the things. So I wonder what that is. Like if it gives you like an infinite cape or something like that, because that'd be wild.
That'd be wild.
But going like being done with the actual story, like what was your favorite part?
Pink sand and sledding.
Yeah.
So there's a part. So since I had already played through it, we took a break, ate dinner, and then we got back in because we were like, okay, we need to start from the beginning and go to the end. And Eric was like, I want to play. I haven't played in years. And I was like, yeah, of course. I took backseat for a while, just kind of watched, kind of told him like, oh, hey, maybe go check over there. And we would find I almost said curtain.
Curtain.
A cape
wall.
extender.
Yeah.
But like then there was this really pretty, the sand was pink, and I was like, and literally he was like 10 minutes into playing, and I was like, never mind, I want the controller.
Yeah. And I was like, hey, go ahead. Because I knew it was coming up because this was one of my favorite parts originally. was like the sand parts. Like anytime there was like sand, it was and there was like dunes and stuff. It was so cool because sliding in that game feels awesome.
Yeah.
But what did you like so much about it?
I keep saying the cinematography. It's just so like it's so picturesque, and it's so nice to like just look at, and like throughout. Because when I started at chapter 4, I was like already on edge, even though chapter 4 like the beginning was super easy to do. I was still like, but like in the sand dunes, I just had my little buddies, my little stingray buddies, and we were floating and surfing around.
Yeah, you were chilling. So yeah, I just looked up. If you get all the symbols in the game, you get white robes that regenerate your flight every time you land. So yeah, you basically just get to fly through the game, which would be pretty cool. If it was on Switch, if I ever get it on like Steam, I'll probably like do that achievement. But yeah, that part's so because like the first couple areas are just like desert and like brown and grays and like a little bit of red from the scarfs and all that. But then yeah, you get the pink sand and you're like, oh my god, this is something else. Like this is crazy cool.
And then it transitions from like pink sand to gold sand.
Yeah,
and
that's
that
my favorite part.
Gold sand, the sun comes down and it's starting to like be a sunset. So with the gold, the red from the sunset, and the red from your cape, it is just the like most jaw dropping for that game to have released in 2012.
Yeah,
like that game was
nuts.
ahead of its time, dude.
Yeah, I don't know how well like if it looked the same or not, but I can't imagine it being like
because there's obviously been like updates and stuff.
Yeah, because it was on the PS4, but I can't imagine it being like that much worse. Like because it is a very stylistic game, so like it definitely has a style. But yeah, that definitely is my favorite part, and that's why I was so confused when we first played through, and you didn't get that part with the because I was like, I don't remember the game that much, but I remember when you go through a tunnel. And then it pans to like a side shot, and the sun is setting, and the mountains in the background, and you're sliding through gold sand, and it's just this beautiful shot. And I was like, that couldn't have been optional. that was a very like important part of the game for me.
They spent so much time animating that. That can't just be like, oh, you could skip that. It's fine.
Exactly. But those parts back to back, like really sell the game, honestly. Yeah. And it pushes you through because it's like, this is incredible. What else can they do? And then there's a lull for a while because after that you fall into the pit, and that's where you're being chased by the shredders basically.
It scared me so much because they have a light, and when they detect you,
and it's purple, so it stands out like crazy.
Because it's dark blue, and then it's just like this light purple, but it's harsh. Like when you think of light purple, you're like, oh, lilac. Oh, like, no, it is.
It means death.
It is. That means your time is a-coming.
Yeah.
But when they detect you, they zero in on you, and it's like a red light around you.
Mm-hmm.
And so
it's very scary. That's like the one, because most of it's platforming, but there's 2 segments with these shredders kind of chasing you, and you have to like hide.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing we didn't mention. There's like no sprinting in this game. You're slow. You are a very slow character. You walk super slow. And if there's an incline, you are a glacial speed. It's very scary.
You walk at like 1 mile per like 24 hours.
But there's always like, don't be scared. There's always like a place to hide.
Yeah.
Most of the times those things show up, it's a scripted event, and you're actually a lot safer than you think.
It just scares you shitless.
Yeah. And then after that, you get to kind of like, you vibe on some like basically you feel like you're underwater because it's deep blue. Those things are like flying around, and they look like big manta rays, and like it's really cool. And then you get to the tower that we did already. We talked about that you get to the top, and then it shows you like all the stuff you've done and the things you're about to do. And then comes the part that like really makes you miss the rest of the game. It's
the scariest thing ever. I know I just said that about like the the big flat flying guys. But you're on this mountain.
The mountain.
The mountain. And it's snowing. And so you get like, you see some power-ups, like some of the ribbons, and you're like, yay, power up. You get ribbon, walk in the snow. You're like... Cape. I was about to call it a scarf.
It is a scarf, but it's kind of, whatever works. Either one works.
The ribbon behind you that gives you your power up.
It's a little wordy.
It starts freezing over, and you have to use all of your boost, or else you just picked up that boost for nothing.
Yeah, it goes away fast,
dude.
And then you're also walking through snow.
You're walking through snow. You're walking through wind.
Hard wind.
It literally pushes you back.
Mm-hmm. You have to hide behind like big tombstones.
Yeah.
To get through it. And then on top of all that, you're walking slow and it's windy, and then one of the shredders shows up, and you're like, that part's honestly easier than the part underground, though.
Yeah.
Like way easier.
I think the underground one prepares you for that. It's like, hey, this is how hard it could be, but it's not going to be that hard.
Yeah. And then you get past that, and you're just hiking up the side of a hill, up the side of the mountain, through another building that like is falling apart. And then you get to the point where you're within sight of the end of the mountain, and you're like hiking. And as you're hiking up there, your scarf like disintegrates.
It gets frostbite.
Yeah. It disintegrates. It's just gone. And then you die. Like,
you get so close to the end. Like you could practically see the end, and you just get pushed around and like frozen by this wind so much that you just fall. That's where we saw the bodacious booty.
Yeah, that is where you see the bodacious booty. And then you're revived by, which is funny because while we were walking the first time, Jess is like, ancestors help me. And then your ancestors revive you and give you the longest scarf in the game, and the music swells and you shoot up into the sky. The shredders are chasing you, and you're going through and you're dodging them, and then you come out on the other side of the clouds. The shredders have turned into the giant hammerhead sharks, and it's beautiful. Like it's crazy.
So it's like you
have
words
to play
don't
it.
give it justice.
You have to play it, because basically at that point, they've taught you everything in the game. You have a fully upgraded scarf, and you can basically you don't have to touch the ground. Like you can hit piles and piles of the ribbons and continue to fly and fly. And then there's jellyfish that you can perfectly like go one to the other and just keep going up and up and up into the mountain.
And you could ride on those hammerhead sharks.
Yep. Yeah, it's incredible. And then you land at the top in between where your point is, and you just walk. And you walk slowly. Your scarf is gone again, but you're at the top. You've reached the top, and then you turn into a ball of light as the prophecy predicted, and it starts you right back at the beginning.
But like while you go over it, like over the credits and stuff, it shows the barren land and the desert turning back into the wondrous land it was with all the crops and water, and like there wasn't the White Hoods anymore. Like they all actually like wiped out.
Yeah.
But that place is now back.
Yeah, back to
happy.
Normal. Yeah. And it's so cool, man. Like that end of that game, everyone should play that. Feels so good. Cause like at that point, like if you got a slot time to just beat this game in one go. Cause like the fact that I was able to play that, and then like I had the vibe and the feel, and then just zoop through like each jellyfish and like fly up around the mountain. Oh, feels so good. Like especially after walking through the terrible snow, and you're like, oh, this is awful. And then you get to do that, and you're like, I feel free. like I am a god.
In the snow, I had the left stick like completely up. I was like, please just keep fucking walking. And then the wind would hit, and it would push me, and it would slow down. I was like, oh my God, just go.
Yeah.
And then it would die, and I was like, oh my God, why? I just want to finish this game.
And then you get to literally shoot out into the sky. But yeah. It's such a good game.
Such a good game. I loved it.
Yeah, it was really, really good. I'm glad you liked it. There's definitely going to be more games like that. A lot of experience-based games that we can just sit down and play. And then I don't have anything else to say except like you should go play it. It's worth it.
Go play.
Yeah. Like if you have the capability to buy the game or you own it already, go play it. Like,
or one of your friends has, because even though it's a single player thing, it's so fun to do it with two people.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun to do it with two people. Or, hey, maybe you can play it together separately and get lucky and get paired up against each other and not know. But yeah, great game. Everyone should play it. It should be required playing if you are a fan of games. It really shows like how artistic and beautiful games can be. That's like the best way to describe it. But yeah, that's going to do it. I will say our next game that we're going to be playing together, but apart. It's not going to probably be the next episode. We probably will do like a between the games, or maybe we'll do another recording, is Mario Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey. One of Jess's favorite games.
I have beat that game over 3 times.
Yeah, it's a good game. I've only beat it once, so I'm excited to play through it again, but I do really enjoy that game. I'm definitely not going to try, like when I beat it, I'm not going to try to do everything, like I did when I first played it.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely didn't 100% that game because it's a lot.
I've 100%.
I believe you.
Once.
Yeah, and it's a lot. There's like 999 moons or something like that. It's ridiculous. So that's our game that we're going to play apart. We have a couple other games that are on the list, like Florence, I think would be a pretty good, easy one. It's like literally 45 minutes storytelling. A game called A Little to the Left might be a good one.
It's on my wish list.
Yeah, it's a good one. There's a game on, I think I'm going to save, I want to save, what is it, Oxenfree for like more spooky season. Once we get into fall. But I think it might be a summer vacation game now that I think about it.
But it's definitely
spooky
vibes.
Yeah. And then what are some other ones that are on the list? Because I'm excited that we got Journey done. Journey was one of the big ones on my list that I was like, we got to get this done. We got to play this one. So let's see what else we got. Storyteller I heard is really good. Oh, Donut County I think you would really like if you've never played that one. If Found would be good. Let's see. Short Hike is definitely a summer game. So is Firewatch. Journey we got. Yeah, there's plenty of games to pick. I don't know what they are. It might be one of the ones we talked about. A Little to the Left might be good. And then there's another one that I can't remember what it's called. Let me look it up. It's called Assemble with Care. It's about fixing items and stuff.
Oh.
And you like get little items from like these villagers, and they bring you like little things that they're attached to, and you fix them, and you kind of get a story about the character as you're fixing them, and it's pretty neat. So that might be on there too. But it'll probably be a really chill game. I mean, that's kind of the vibe here. Except like Inside. Inside was like, I don't know, man. Edith Finch was pretty traumatic. There's going to be a lot more like traumatic games in the future too.
Great.
Yeah, I've been waiting. There's one I haven't told you about. It's on the list, like, and I have mentioned it, but it's like literally about like a first year college student that I'm like, oh, I'm gonna tap into that one.
While my friends are out at frat parties, I'm just
crying about this game. Yeah. But yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you would like to know more, we're not like super active on Twitter because it's kind of a shit show right now. But you can follow us there at Short Long Pod on Twitter. You can follow me at Mr. The Human. That's MR The Human. Maybe I'll make an Instagram. I don't know. I don't really care for social media too much right now, but I'll do what I can. I post on Instagram on my Instagram, which is also Mr. The Human. So if you want to follow me, I guess. But that's mostly just for people that know me to go listen to the podcast. We're averaging about 18 listeners an episode right now, so I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Thank you, listeners.
We have 17 followers on Spotify. which means we are getting more listens than followers, which is real nice. So I do appreciate the following and the consistency. And then also, this is the first podcast I've recorded since I featured on another podcast called Chronicles of Critics. Yeah, no, Chronicles of Critics. I was on there for a mid-season review of The Mandalorian. So if you like Star Wars, go check that out. Currently, it's their most recent episode. So pretty good. I'll be back on there for The Mandalorian, and we'll also be doing a crossover with them. I don't know if Jess will be included. If she wants to be, she's more than welcome to be. About the Super Mario Brothers movie. And also probably talking about video game movies in general, because there's a lot of them and they vary in quality. But yeah, you have anything to say to the people before we sign off? No. Okay, cool. We will see you guys next time. Not sure if it'll be a full episode or between the games, but stay tuned.
Later.